Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you don't know by the title already, in today's video we're talking about the student visas available to study in the USA. We are going to talk about the types of student visas, the eligibility criteria, the documents required and more. So if you are planning to study in the USA, or better yet, you have already gotten an admission from a university in the USA and want to know about the student visas, this video is just for you. Before we get on with the video, subscribe to Foreign Admits and help us get to 5,000 subscribers. If you want to know what makes USA such a great student destination and what attracts so many students to the States, you can check out this video right here. If you want to study in the USA, there are 4 types of student visas available. The F1 visa. The F1 visa is required if you want to study at a private elementary school, high school, college or university, or any other academic institution, including a language training program. We'll talk about this visa in detail later on in this video. M1 visa. The M1 visa is for people who are interested in vocational courses that include cooking, technical skills, flight training, cosmetology, and similar fields. We'll briefly talk about this visa in the next section of the video. The J1 visa. The J1 visa is a 2-year exchange visa. You can apply to this visa if you have applied to one of the acceptable programs in this category. You can also apply for the J1 visa if you're going to do short-term work such as au pair, work and holiday, or temporary scholar work. There are several categories of the J1 visa you can apply for depending on your program. The Cuban visa. The Cuban visa is a cultural exchange visa that allows you to work in the US and share your cultures and traditions with other people in the US. To apply to the Cuban visa, you need to apply to a program managed by the US Citizenship and Immigration Services, or the USCIS. Now let's quickly talk about the M1 visa first. As mentioned earlier, the M1 visa is for students who want to apply to vocational courses. Courses like cosmetology, cooking, technical and mechanical studies are considered vocational courses. The application fee for M1 visa is $160 or 12,411 Indian National Rupees. To be eligible to apply for the M1 visa, you need to meet certain criteria. These are: you need to get accepted by an SEVP institution. The Student Exchange Visitor Program has a list of vocational and non-degree bearing institutions that make you eligible for the M1 visa. After getting accepted, the school will register you in the Student Exchange Visitor Information System, or SEVIS, and give you a Form I-20, a certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student status. You need to have high English proficiency. International students should have a high English proficiency as it is required by the education institution. You can do this by appearing for tests such as IELTS or TOEFL. After completing your education, you will have to go back to your home country, so you will need to prove strong ties to your home country via property deeds, apartment lease, foreign address, or family ties. Lack of enough evidence can lead to the rejection of your visa. Be able to finance your education. Your I-20 form contains an estimate of expenses for 1 year. You will need to submit financial documents that prove you have the amount to get the visa approved. You'll also need to show additional funds for any dependents. Now let's take a look at the documents you'll require for the M1 visa. You'll require a valid passport, your DS-160 confirmation page, a visa appointment letter, 1 photograph according to the US visa requirement, your original I-20 form and 1 copy, receipt that you have paid your fees, proof of your educational qualifications such as degrees, diplomas, transcripts or standardized test scores, proof of financial stabilities such as bank statement for last 3 years, tax information for last 3 years, loans to finance your stay in the US if applicable. Scholarships for your education in the US provide all relevant information, and if you're being supported by an individual in the US, submit Form I-134, Affidavit of Support, and the person's bank and tax return information for the last 3 years. Okay, now let's move on to the F1 visa. As we told you earlier, the F1 visa is given to international students who want to attend the educational institutions in the United States. It covers levels from elementary to university and graduate schools, including other degrees. The application fee for the F1 visa is $160 or 12,411 Indian National Rupees. Let's take a look at what are the conditions you need to meet to apply for the F1 visa. Get accepted by an SEVP institution. Just like the M1 student visa, you need to get accepted by an SEVP institution. If you have a list of schools that you want to go to, you need to check in advance if they are listed in the SEVP. Be enrolled as a full-time student. Show strong ties to your home country. If you don't prove and submit documents to show that you have strong ties to your home country and intend to go home after your program ends, it will be more difficult to get your F1 visa. Show financial proofs. You need to prove that you have enough funds to cover your expenses of studying and living in the US. Be proficient in English. You need to prove that you can speak and understand English at a level that enables you to enroll in an academic program. This can be done via appearing for tests such as TOEFL and IELTS. Now let's take a look at the documents that you'll require for the F1 visa. You'll need your valid passport, your DS-160 form, 2 photos meeting the US visa photo requirements, proof of paid F1 fees, Form I-20. Your Form I-20 states the amount of funds you'll need to finance your education and living in the US. You need to prove that you have that amount via bank statements of last 3 years, tax records of last 3 years, pay stubs from previous employment. If you have received any scholarships, you need to submit the proof of it. If you're being supported or sponsored by someone else in the US, you need to submit Form I-134 Affidavit of Support and the bank statements of the past 3 years of that person. And if you're funding your US education through a loan, you need to submit the proof of approved loan. Paying a year or a semester's worth of fee is also a good idea but not mandatory. Documents that prove your previous education and current qualifications. This can be done via original transcripts, standardized test scores, acceptance letters of universities or institutions that have accepted you, or previous degrees and diplomas, and a proof of purchased health insurance for international students. Now, let's see how to apply for the F1 visa. Get your admission documents from the SEVP institution. After you get accepted to an SEVP institutions, they will have to complete some procedures so that you can apply for the F1 visa. The most important document that you will need is the I-20 form. Apply online through the DS-160 form. After getting your I-20 form, you can start the usual application process by filling out the DS-160 form online. Subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our video on how to fill the DS-160 form. Pay the application fee. As mentioned earlier, the application fees for F1 visa is $160. You need to pay this fees and get the receipt of it as you will need it for your interview documents later. Pay the Service 901 fee. After getting accepted into an SEVP institution, they will register you in the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System or SEVIS. For the full registration, there is a SEVIS I-901 fee which is $200 for the F1 visa. Schedule your F1 visa interview. After paying your fees and filling the DS-160 form, you need to schedule your visa interview as it is a mandatory step before you get your student visa. Submit the file with all the F1 visa required documents. Before attending your interview, you should make a file with all the required documents. Attend your F1 student visa interview. In the interview, the questions asked will mostly revolve around why you want to go to the US and your university. Let us know in the comment section below if you would like to see a video on F1 visa interview tips. There are post-study work options available in the US as well. These can be divided into 2 categories, the CPT and the OPT. CPT is the curricular practical training and OPT is the optical practical training. CPT and OPT both allow the holders of F1 visa to stay and work in the US post the completion of their course. The major difference, however, lies in the time period and the type of work allowed in these programs. OPT can be completed before or after graduation, whereas CPT must be completed before graduation. The OPT is generally for up to 12 months, where the holder of the F1 visa can work in their related field. Although OPT can be completed before or after graduation, you are only allowed to work for 12 months in total. However, if you are a graduate of the STEM course, you can apply for an extension of the OPT. You can apply for an extension of up to 24 months, so you can work in the US for a total of 36 months. And that is it for today's video. I hope you found this video helpful and that you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, don't forget to like and share this video with a friend who is preparing for their US student visa. Comment down below if you would like us to make a video on the F1 visa interview tips. Subscribe to Foreign Admits and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. I will see you guys in the next video.